Jinha stood alone on the wide observation deck of the U.S. Dauntless. His hands were clasped behind his back as he watched the stars. He had been in this spot for 3 hours without moving. The diplomatic meeting was supposed to end 2 hours ago. The small blue light of his communication device blinked. Jinha ignored it. Nothing mattered except the small dot of light that would soon appear. When the diplomatic ship returned through the jump point, Commander Jinha called a voice from behind him. "Admiral Quan needs you on the bridge." Jinha didn't turn. "Tell him I'll be there when our people return." The young officer shifted his weight. "Sir, he says it's urgent." Something in the officer's voice made Jinha turn. The man's face was pale, his eyes wide with barely hidden fear. "What happened?" Jinha asked, his stomach tightening. Before the officer could answer, a flash of light caught Jinha's eye. He turned back to the window just in time to see a distant explosion where the jump point should be. It bloomed like a silent flower of fire against the blackness of space. The Earth diplomatic ship. 17 years of careful talks, 23 of Earth's best diplomats, all gone in an instant. Jinha's face showed nothing, but his hands tightened into fists. "The Galactic Confederation," he said quietly. "They finally showed their true face." Admiral Quan sat alone in his quarters, staring at the screen that showed the explosion on repeat. His weathered face seemed to have gained 10 years in the past hour. On his desk sat a small plant in a clay pot, a gift from his granddaughter before he left Earth. The door chimed. "Enter," he said. Jinha walked in and stood at attention. "You called for me, Admiral." Quan nodded. "I did. Sit down." Jinha remained standing. "I'd rather not, sir." Quan looked up at his commander. They had served together for 15 years, fought together, bled together, and now they would start a war together. "You saw what happened?" Quan asked. "I did." Jinha's voice was flat. "They murdered our people." Quan touched his screen, and the image changed to show a woman with short black hair. Her eyes were sharp, her face serious. "This is Haran," Quan said. "Our top scientist studying alien biology. 3 months ago, she found something that changes everything." The screen showed complex diagrams of DNA strands next to what looked like weapons. "The Confederation has been developing biological weapons," Quan continued. "Weapons that only target human genetics. They've been planning this for years while pretending to negotiate peace." Jinha's jaw tightened. "They never meant to accept us as equals." "No," Quan agreed. "Our diplomats confronted them with this evidence today." This explosion was their answer. For 50 years, humanity had carefully followed the Confederation's rules. They limited their technology development. They stopped expanding too quickly. They tried to appear peaceful and non-threatening to the older alien species who controlled the galaxy. Earth had warned the Confederation many times. Humans were holding back. Their military strength, their technological abilities, their true potential, all of it was hidden to keep the peace. Now, the peace was broken. Quan stood up slowly. "I'm sending the Phoenix Protocol to all Earth forces." Jinha's eyes widened slightly. The Phoenix Protocol was created for this exact situation, the moment when diplomacy failed, and humanity needed to reveal its true strength. "Computer," Quan said clearly, "activate Phoenix Protocol. Authorization Quan-Alpha-7-9-0. The computer's voice was calm. "Phoenix Protocol activated. Releasing all technological restrictions. Deploying hidden fleets. Activating all reserve forces." Jinha felt a weight lift from his shoulders. For years, he had commanded ships with weapons that were deliberately weakened. He had led soldiers who were ordered to hide their full abilities, all to avoid frightening the aliens, who already controlled most of the galaxy. "What are my orders, Admiral?" Jinha asked. "Take the Third Fleet to the New Bizan colony," Quan said. "The Confederation will attack there first. They think it's poorly defended." Jinha nodded. "And Haran, she is already on her way to you. Her research will help protect our people from their biological attacks." Haran walked quickly through the science labs of the Dauntless. Technicians rushed around her, preparing defenses that had been hidden for decades. She stopped at a large glass container where a strange liquid bubbled. "Is it ready?" she asked a nearby scientist. "Yes, doctor," the man replied. "The countermeasure is stable. It will protect our people from all known Confederation bioweapons." Haran nodded, loaded onto all ships immediately. Her communication device blinked, and Jenna's face appeared on the small screen. "We're ready to depart," he said. "Are your teams prepared?" "We are," Haran replied. "Jenna, there's something else you should know. Their weapons aren't just designed to kill us. Some are made to capture humans alive, for study." Jenna's expression darkened. "They see us as lab animals. Worse," Haran said. "They see us as a threat they don't understand. Human adaptability scares them. We evolve faster than any species they've encountered. Then we'll show them exactly why they should be afraid," Jinha said. The Third Fleet moved through the darkness of space toward New Bizon. 100 ships, now operating at full power for the first time. Weapon systems that had been hidden behind false panels were now exposed. Soldiers who had trained in secret for years now prepared for real combat. On the bridge of the Dauntless, Jinha watched as his crew worked with new energy. The restraints were off. The pretending was over. "Sir," called out the communications officer. "Admiral Quan is broadcasting to all human forces." "Put it on screen," Jinha ordered. Quan's face appeared, stern and determined. "People of Earth and her colonies," he began, "today, the Galactic Confederation revealed their true intentions. They murdered our diplomats. They planned to attack our worlds. They developed weapons to destroy our species." He paused, his eyes hard. "For 50 years, we have hidden our strength. We have pretended to be less than we are. We have held back our true potential. We did this for peace." Quan leaned forward. "But now the restraints are off. Show them what humanity can really do. Show them why Earth warned them not to push us too far." The screen went dark. Jinha turned to look at his crew. In their eyes, he saw not fear, but relief. The time for pretending was over. "Set course for New Bizon," Jinha ordered. "Full power to all systems. Prepare for battle." The stars streaked past as the ships accelerated to speeds they had never publicly used before. Humanity was done holding back, and the galaxy was about to learn why that was a terrible mistake. The first signs of the Confederation attack came just as Jinna's fleet reached New Bizon. 30 alien warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel on the far side of the colony's moon. Their curved, bone-white hulls gleamed in the light of the system's sun. "They're here," Jinha said quietly. "Right on time." New Bizon was officially a mining colony with minimal defenses, at least. That's what Earth had told the Confederation. The aliens expected an easy victory, a quick strike, to show humans their place in the galaxy. "Sir, the enemy ships are moving into attack formation," reported the tactical officer. Jinha nodded. "Keep our ships hidden behind the planet. Let them think we're not here yet." On the screen, the alien ships spread out in a half circle. Their weapons charged, glowing with purple energy. "They're targeting the colony's main dome," Haran said, standing beside Jinha. "They'll kill 10,000 civilians." Jinha's face remained calm. "No, they won't." He pressed a button on his command chair. "Activate New Bizon defense grid." Across the surface of the seemingly defenseless colony, hidden bunkers opened, massive. Gun turrets rose from beneath innocent-looking buildings. Shield generators that had been disguised as water storage tanks hummed to life. The Confederation ships fired down their energy weapons splashed harmlessly against a shield they didn't know existed. "Now," Jinha ordered, "show them what we can really do." The Earth fleet moved from behind the planet with startling speed. Ships that the Confederation thought could only reach certain velocities now moved 3 times faster. Weapon systems that aliens believed were primitive suddenly fired advanced energy beams that cut through Confederation shields. "They're trying to retreat," the tactical officer called out. "Don't let them," Jinha said. None of them can report what they've seen here today. Haran touched his arm. We need at least one ship intact. For study. Jinha nodded. Target their engines, not their core systems. The battle should have been even, 30 Confederation ships against 30 human vessels. But it wasn't even close. Human pilots flew with reflexes that seemed impossible. Years of hiding their true abilities had ended. Now they moved with neural implants that connected them directly to their ships. Machines and humans working as one. On the ground, the colony's defenders emerged from hiding. Soldiers in powered armor that the Confederation didn't know humans possessed. Their strength multiplied, their reflexes enhanced. They made short work of the alien troops that had landed. Sir, 5 enemy ships destroyed, reported the tactical officer. 10 disabled. The rest are trying to jump away. Use the gravity anchors. Jinha ordered. Hidden systems on the human ships activated, creating artificial gravity wells that prevented faster-than-light jumps. The trapped Confederation ships fought desperately, but they had prepared to fight a much weaker enemy. In his command chair, Jinha watched calmly. This wasn't the real war yet. This was just the beginning. In the medical bay of the Dauntless, Haran worked quickly. 3 Confederation soldiers had been captured alive. They lay unconscious on medical beds, their blue skin pale under the bright lights. What have you found? Jinha asked as he entered. Haran looked up from her instruments. Exactly what we suspected. They've been modified to resist human diseases. They expected to fight a biological war alongside the physical one. She pointed to screens showing alien DNA, but they didn't know about our own enhancements. Our soldiers' immune systems are far more advanced than what the Confederation believes. Jinha nodded. And the weapons we captured. Fascinating, Haran said, her eyes lighting up despite the grim situation. They developed technology specifically to target human nervous systems, weapons designed to cause pain without killing, perfect for taking prisoners. For experiments, Jinha said darkly. Yes, Haran agreed. But now we have them. We can develop countermeasures. Jinha looked at the alien prisoners. How long until they wake up? Hours, Haran said. Plenty of time for me to complete my analysis. Good. Jinha turned to leave. Because this is just the first battle. They'll send more ships once they realize what happened here. Admiral Quan received the news of the victory with a grim smile. In his command center on Earth, he watched the battle data from New Bizon. Send the recording to all human worlds, he ordered. Everyone needs to see that we can win this war. His second in command looked worried. Sir, should we show our full capabilities so soon? Quan's eyes were hard. The time for secrets is over. Let them see what they're really fighting. On screens, across human colonies, people watched in amazement as their ships and soldiers displayed abilities they never knew existed. The fear that had grown since the destruction of the diplomatic vessel began to fade. Replaced by hope. Deep in Confederation space, the Galactic Council met in emergency session. The 7 oldest species of the galaxy sat around a floating table, their faces showing confusion and fear. Impossible, said the Mrath representative, his insect-like mandibles clicking. Humans cannot have such technology. Our intelligence was clear. The Voldar counselor, her scaled skin reflecting the light, hissed in disagreement. We were deceived. These apes have been hiding their true capabilities. The mining colony had planetary shields equal to our capital worlds, reported the military commander. Their ships move faster than our calculations suggested was possible for their level of technology. And the soldiers, another added, they fight as if enhanced. Their reflexes, their strength all beyond what we believe humans capable of. The eldest counselor, a being of pure energy contained in a mechanical shell, spoke last. We underestimated them. The humans warned us they were holding back. We did not listen. What do we do now? Asked the Mrath. We must crush them quickly. The Voldar said, before they reveal more surprises, the energy being pulsed with concern. I fear it may already be too late for that. Back on the Dauntless, Jinha received a secure transmission from Admiral Quan. New Bizon was just the beginning, Quan said. The Confederation is mobilizing their main fleet. They're coming for Earth itself. Jinha nodded. How long do we have? 3 days at most, Quan replied. Return to Earth. Bring Harn and her research. We'll need every advantage. After the transmission ended, Jinha stood by the observation window, looking at the captured Confederation ships. For 50 years, humanity had pretended to be less than they were. They had hidden their advances, moved slowly, appeared harmless. Now, the gloves were off. Now the galaxy would see what humans could really do when pushed too far. Set course for Earth, Jinha ordered. Maximum speed. The human fleet disappeared into faster-than-light travel, moving at speeds the Confederation had never seen before. The war had truly begun. The Great Hall of the Confederation Council was in chaos. Representatives from 67 alien species shouted over each other. Fear filled the room like a thick fog. Silence, roared the head counselor, a tall being with gray skin. The room gradually grew quiet. Our reports from New Bizon are clear. The humans have deceived us. A hologram appeared above the center of the room. It showed the battle, the human ships moving with impossible speed. Their weapons far more powerful than anything the Confederation had expected. Intelligence now confirms that humans have been operating at less than 30% of their true technological capacity, said the military advisor. They have hidden their real abilities for decades. Murmurs of disbelief spread through the hall. How is this possible? Asked one counselor. We monitored their development closely. They knew we were watching, replied the advisor. They showed us what they wanted us to see. The head counselor's eyes narrowed. What else have they hidden? Jinha checked his equipment one final time. The small team of 6 humans wore armor that blended with shadows. They stood in the launch bay of a stealth ship, orbiting the Confederation research world of Zeta 9. Remember? Jinha said to his team. We need proof of their plans against Earth. Get into their main database, copy everything, and get out. No unnecessary fighting. Harn adjusted something on her wrist computer. The biological masking agent will hide our human scent for 6 hours. After that, their sensors will detect us. Jinha nodded. 6 hours is plenty. Their small craft drops silently through the atmosphere, landing in a forested area 3 miles from the research facility. The team moved quickly through the trees, their enhanced muscles and reflexes making them far faster than any normal human. Guards patrolled the outer walls of the facility. Jinha signaled, and his team froze, becoming nearly invisible in the shadows. Their patrol pattern has a gap every 7 minutes, whispered one of his soldiers. Jinha checked the time. We move in 6 minutes. Get ready. When the moment came, they scaled the wall in seconds. The security systems did not detect them. They had been designed to spot normal humans, not the enhanced soldiers Earth had kept secret. Inside, they moved through corridors with practiced silence. Harn led them to a large door marked with alien symbols. The main data center, she said. I need 3 minutes, while Harn worked on the lock. Jinha kept watch. This deep in Confederation territory, they were like ghosts in enemy territory. The door slid open with a soft hiss. Inside, massive computers hummed quietly. Harn moved to the central terminal. Cover me, she said, connecting her devices to the alien system. Jinha watched as data streamed across her screen. His eyes widened. This is bigger than we thought, Harn whispered. They've been planning to attack Earth for 20 years. The peace talks were just to buy time. Jinha looked closer at the files. What's Project Harvest? Harn opened the files. Images appeared of humans in laboratories, being studied and taken apart. They've been abducting humans from outer colonies, studying us. They're trying to understand what makes us different. Different how? Our adaptability. Harn said, look at this data. Every Confederation species reached an evolutionary plateau thousands of years ago. They stopped adapting, stopped changing. But humans never did. Jinha watched as more files appeared. They're afraid of us. With good reason, Haran said. They evolved in stable environments. We evolved facing constant threats and changes. Our brains form differently. We can think in ways they can't imagine. Alarm suddenly blared through the facility. We've been detected, Jinha said. Grab what you can. We're leaving. Haran disconnected her device. I got everything, including their attack plans for Earth. Admiral Quan stood in the hidden base beneath the Pacific Ocean. For 50 years, this massive underground facility had been Earth's best-kept secret. Show me, he ordered. The wall in front of him became transparent, revealing an enormous underwater hangar. Inside floated ships unlike any that the Confederation had seen. Sleeker, faster, more advanced than anything humans had used in public. The Phoenix Fleet, said his second-in-command, 120 warships, built in secret asteroid bases and hidden underwater. Ready to launch, Quan nodded. And the crews, all trained and ready, Admiral. The best pilots. All with the neural enhancements we've kept hidden. Quan's communication device beeped. Jinna's face appeared on the screen. Admiral, mission successful. But we found something you need to see immediately. Report back to Earth, Quan ordered. How long until the Confederation fleet arrives? Less than 48 hours, Jinha replied. And sir, they're coming with everything they have. Quan's face showed no fear. So are we. Haran presented her findings to Earth's War Council. The room fell silent as the leaders of humanity saw the truth about their enemies. They never intended peace, Haran explained. They saw our rapid evolution as a threat to galactic stability. She showed images of the abducted humans. They've been studying us for decades, trying to understand how we adapt so quickly. They want to extract the quality for themselves, without our unpredictability, Jinha added. They want our strengths without what they see as our dangerous. Nature, Quan stood. The Confederation has made a fatal mistake. They studied our bodies, our technology, but they failed to understand the human spirit. He walked to the large window overlooking the hidden fleet. Throughout our history, humans have faced extinction many times. Each time, we not only survived, we came back stronger. The Confederation species evolved in peace, Haran said. They never faced the constant threats that shaped humanity. They don't understand what happens when humans are truly threatened. Jinha brought up the Confederation battle plans. They expect us to defend Earth. They don't expect us to strike at them first. Quan smiled slightly. Then that's exactly what we'll do. The Phoenix Fleet rose from oceans around the world. Ships that no alien had ever seen emerged from hidden bases on the Moon and Mars. For the first time in 50 years, humanity's full military might was on display. On the bridge of the flagship, Quan addressed all ships. The Confederation believes they know humans, he said. They believe they understand what we are capable of. Today, we proved them wrong. He brought up a map of Confederation space. They expect us to wait for their attack. Instead, we will strike at their fleet gathering points here, and here. Jinha, now commanding his own advanced vessel, studied the plan. They won't expect us to know their staging areas exactly, Quan replied. And they certainly won't expect us to reach them before they're ready. Haran, who had joined Jinna's ship as science officer, added. Their psychology makes them predictable. They plan methodically and follow those plans exactly. They cannot adapt quickly to surprises, and we, Jinha said with a small smile, are about to become their biggest surprise. The Earth fleet moved into formation. Ships that the Confederation believed took days to reach distant systems would now arrive in hours. Weapons that aliens thought impossible for humans to develop were armed and ready. Quan gave the final order. All ships, prepare for jump. It's time to show the galaxy what happens when you push humanity too far. The fleet vanished in flashes of light, racing toward Confederation space. The true war had begun, and humanity was no longer holding back. The Confederation fleet gathered at Proxima Station never saw the attack coming. 60 warships sat in perfect formation, preparing for their assault on Earth. They expected the humans to wait, to defend, to react as they had always done. They were wrong. The human fleet appeared suddenly, dropping out of faster-than-light travel directly among the alien ships. Before the Confederation commanders could even give orders, the battle had begun. Jinna's ship, the Dauntless, cut through 3 enemy vessels in its first attack run. Weapons that the aliens had never seen before tore through shields they had thought unbreakable. Target their command ships, Jinna ordered. Don't let them coordinate. On the main screen, the battle unfolded like a deadly dance. Human ships moved with a speed and grace that shocked the Confederation forces. Each captain fought with creative tactics, changing patterns constantly, never becoming predictable. "Sir," called the communications officer. Admiral Quan reports similar success at the other staging areas. The Confederation fleet is in disarray. Jinha nodded. Phase 2. Find their transport ships. Harn looked up from her station. Scans show prisoner transports at the far edge of the battle. They're trying to escape. Jinna's eyes narrowed. Not today. The Dauntless broke away from the main fight, racing toward the fleeing transports. 3 Confederation warships moved to block their path, evasive pattern Delta. Jinha ordered. His ship spun and rolled in ways the aliens had never seen, making it nearly impossible to target. The human crew, enhanced with neural links to the ship's systems, felt every movement as if the massive vessel was part of their own bodies. They shot past the defending ships and closed in on the transports. "Life signs?" Jinha asked. "Confirmed," Harn replied. "Thousands of human prisoners on those ships." Jinha opened a channel to the transports. "Confederation vessels, powered down and prepared to be boarded. Any resistance will be met with force." The transports tried to run. One fired on the Dauntless. "Disable their engines," Jinha ordered. "Careful shots only." Precise beams of energy cut through the transport's propulsion systems. The ship drifted to a stop in space. "Boarding teams ready," reported the tactical officer. Jinha stood. "I'm going with them. Harn, you have the bridge." Jinha led the boarding party onto the first transport. The narrow corridors were filled with the smell of fear. Confederation guards offered little resistance. When they saw the human soldiers in their advanced armor deep in the ship, they found what they were looking for. Hundreds of cells lined the walls. Inside each one, humans sat with blank expressions. Many were thin, with marks of experiments on their bodies. "Get them all out," Jinha ordered. Medical team standing by. A young woman in one cell looked up as her door opened. "Are you real?" she asked. Her voice rough from disuse. Jinha knelt beside her. "Yes, we're from Earth. We've come to take you home." Tears filled her eyes. They said Earth had forgotten us, that no one was coming. "They lied," Jinha said gently. "We never stopped looking." As they led the prisoners back to the Dauntless, Jinha found data terminals throughout the ship. He downloaded everything, knowing Harn would want to see it all. Back on the bridge, Harn examined the files from the transport. "These people were taken from colonies on the edge of our space." She told Jinha, "The Confederation has been doing this for years, telling the colonies that these people died in accidents." She showed him images of laboratories where humans were studied like animals. "They've been trying to understand our adaptability, our creativity, things they lack." Jinha felt cold anger rise within him. How many more colonies have they been taking people from? Harn checked the data. At least 12 worlds. All of them told the same lies. Jinha opened a channel to Admiral Quan. "Sir, we need to change our plans. There are human colonies being harvested by the Confederation. We need to free them." Quan's face showed the same controlled anger that Jinha felt. "Send me the coordinates. I'll divert ships to each location." For the next weeks, the war spread across the galaxy. Human ships appeared at colony after colony, freeing their people and destroying Confederation control centers. The aliens had never faced an enemy like this. Most species in the galaxy fought in predictable ways. Following military doctrines thousands of years old, humans fought with constant innovation, changing tactics with each battle. On a small farming colony called New Eden, Jin-Ha led the ground forces personally. The Confederation had built a research facility beneath the main settlement, where they took colonists for study. Move fast, Jin-Ha told his troops. Every minute counts. They struck from 3 directions at once, using tactics the aliens had never seen before. While the Confederation soldiers held fixed positions and followed standard protocols, the humans flowed like water around obstacles, finding new paths, creating unexpected angles of attack. Within an hour, the facility was secure, more prisoners freed, more evidence gathered of the Confederation's true plans for humanity. Admiral Quan stood in the war room on Earth, looking at the galactic map. Lights showed human forces spreading across Confederation space. Winning battle after battle, we could push all the way to their homeworlds, said one of his generals. In this war, by destroying their central planets, Quan was silent for a long moment. And how many innocent civilians would die in such an attack, sir? They planned to subjugate Earth. They've been taking our people for experiments for years. Yes, Quan agreed. Their leadership has much to answer for. But we are not them. We do not target civilians. He zoomed in on a different part of the map. Here, the Confederation's Central Command, the military and political leadership that ordered all of this. That's our target. The general studied the location. It's their most heavily defended position. It is, Quan agreed. And that's why they won't expect us to strike there directly. He opened a channel to all fleet commanders. New orders. Continue liberation operations, but prepare for our final strike. We're taking the fight to Central Command. Jin-Ha received the orders while overseeing the evacuation of free prisoners. Central Command, he said to Harn, the heart of the Confederation. Harn nodded. Their leaders never leave that station. They think it's impregnable. No fortress is truly impregnable, Jin-Ha replied, not against human ingenuity. He walked to the window, watching as former prisoners boarded ships bound for Earth. Despite everything that had been done to them, these people still had hope in their eyes. They had endured. They had survived, like humanity always did. This is why we'll win, Jin-Ha said quietly, not because of our technology or our weapons, but because of this. He gestured to the determined faces of the survivors. We don't break, Harn agreed, no matter what they do to us. Jin-Ha turned back to the star map showing their next target. Prepare the ship. We're joining Admiral Quan for the final battle. The Dauntless moved away from the colony, joining hundreds of human ships converging from across the galaxy. The Confederation was about to learn the final lesson about humanity. Never corner an enemy. Who fights hardest when victory seems impossible? The Confederation's Central Command floated in space like a massive metal star. 5 pointed arms extended from a central hub, each bristling with weapons. A shield that had never been breached surrounded the entire station. Inside sat the 7 High Counselors who had ordered the war against humanity. They're coming, said the lead counselor, looking at the reports of human ships moving toward them. They've defeated our fleets across 3 sectors. Impossible, muttered another counselor. How could they advance so quickly? We've ruled space for 10,000 years. They're not like us, said the military commander. They don't fight like any species we've encountered. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. On the main screen, hundreds of human ships appeared, dropping out of faster-than-light travel all around them. Full defensive posture, shouted the commander. They cannot breach our shields. But as they watched, the human ships did something unexpected. Instead of firing weapons, they released thousands of small objects that floated toward the station. What are they doing? Asked one counselor. Those are too small to damage our shields. The military commander's eyes widened. Their shield. Disruptors. A technology we thought was theoretical. The small devices activated all at once. The great shield flickered and died. Jinha stood in the drop bay of the Dauntless, surrounded by his assault team, 1,000 soldiers in advanced armor, ready for the final battle. Today we end this war, he told them. Our goal is the central hub where the High Council hides. We take them alive if possible. Harn approached, carrying a small device. This is ready, she said. Once we reach their communications center, I can broadcast the truth to every Confederation world. Jinha nodded. The people need to know what their leaders have done. The bay doors open, revealing the massive station below them. Already, human ships were engaging the outer defenses. The path was being cleared for the ground assault. For Earth, Jinha said simply. Then he jumped, his team following behind him. They fell through space, their armor protecting them as they headed toward the nearest docking bay. Small jets on their suits guided their descent. Confederation defense turrets tried to target them, but the soldiers moved quickly, changing direction in ways the automated systems couldn't predict. Jinha crashed through the bay, shield rolling to his feet and immediately firing at the surprise guards. His team poured in behind him, securing the area in seconds. Move out, he ordered. Harn, stay in the middle of the formation. They pushed through the station, encountering heavy resistance. The Confederation soldiers fought bravely, but predictably. They held positions, followed protocols, used tactics unchanged for centuries. The humans flowed like water around obstacles. When one path was blocked, they made new ones. They climbed through maintenance shafts, cut through walls, and used the station's own systems against the defenders. Jinha led from the front, his enhanced reflexes making him almost impossible to hit. Hours of fighting brought them to the communications center. Hold this position, he ordered as they secured the room. Harn, do it now. Harn connected her device to the main console. I need 5 minutes. You have 3, Jinha replied. Hearing the sound of reinforcements approaching, Harn worked quickly, uploading all the evidence they had gathered. The experiments on humans, the planned invasion of Earth, the decades of abductions and lies. It's ready, she said, broadcasting now, across every Confederation world. The truth began to play on all channels. Common citizens saw for the first time what their leaders had been doing in secret. Jinha's team fought their way to the central hub. The High Council chamber doors were sealed shut. Cut through, Jinha ordered. As his soldiers worked on the doors, Admiral Quan's voice came through his communicator. Jinha, I'm docking at the diplomatic port. Hold position until I arrive, sir. Jinha was confused. We have them cornered. Exactly, Quan replied. And now we show them the difference between humanity and those who would destroy us. 20 minutes later, the doors to the council chamber opened. Jinha and his team entered first. Securing the room, the 7 high counselors sat around their table, surrounded by the last of their guards. Surrender, Jinha demanded. Your fleets are defeated. Your people know the truth. The lead counselor stood slowly. You've won this battle, human, but you cannot control the galaxy. You are too few. We don't want to control the galaxy, came a new voice. Admiral Quan walked into the chamber, flanked by the remaining human diplomats who had escaped the initial attack. We never did, Quan continued. That was your fear, not our intention. He placed a data device on the council table. These are our terms. They are firm but fair. Read them carefully. The lead counselor looked surprised. You're offering peace. After what we did, peace with justice, Quan corrected. Your citizens will decide your fates. But the Confederation itself will change. 3 months later, Jinha stood on the observation deck of the rebuilt diplomatic vessel. Earth's flag flew alongside. The new banner of the reformed Galactic Alliance. Harn joined him, watching as ships from a dozen species moved peacefully through space around them. It's strange, she said, after all the fighting. To see this, Jinha nodded. Humans have always been better at making peace after war than avoiding war in the first place. A new Confederation ship no, an Alliance ship now docked nearby. The representatives of the former High Council worlds were arriving for the signing of the final peace treaty. Do you think they understand us any better now? Haran asked. They're learning. Jinha replied. They've seen what we can do when threatened, but they're also seeing what we can build when given the chance. Admiral Quan approached them. It's time, he said. The ceremony is about to begin. As they walked toward the Great Hall, Jinha saw representatives from every human colony, including those who had been prisoners just months ago. They stood tall, their eyes clear and determined. Our warning was prophetic, Quan said quietly. We told them we were holding back, not just our technology, Haran added, but this. She gestured to the humans and aliens now talking together, finding common ground. Jinha understood. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their weapons or their adaptability. It was their capacity to fight with everything they had while still maintaining their humanity. To push to the edge of destruction, yet still offer peace. In the hall, the new Alliance Charter was displayed for all to see. Its first line, suggested by the former Confederation species themselves, read, we recognize all sentient beings as equals, with the right to develop their own potential without fear. As the signing began, Jinha knew the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had shown what they could do when pushed too far. But more importantly, they had shown who they truly were when victory was in their hands. The galaxy would never forget the lesson: underestimate humans at your own peril, but never forget their capacity for mercy.